Hi guys and welcome back to the channel. Today I've got two replays in the tier 10 American free XP tank. Yeah, free XP tank, we'll go with that. The M48A2 120mm or the M48A2 slash T54E2, whichever way. In game, as you've seen on the health bar, M48A2 120mm. Now this is a tank that I've featured on the channel once, I think a couple of weeks ago. And it's not a tank that I actually like, quite personally. Myself, out of all the American mediums, I feel like it's the worst one of the lot. I think it just does everything worse than an M60. It's basically an M48A5, but just got worse features, generally. And it's just flat out worse than the T95E6. Because the T90, especially with the buffs that the T95E6 that it didn't really need. The buffs on the T95E6 just made this thing just completely obsolete compared to it. So it's not one that I actually enjoyed playing, so I kind of just decided, you know what, I'm going to get it done and dusted. So I 3-marked it. Unfortunately, like I think I said in that video that I did for it the other day, as we bully this poor Sheridan. Oh dear, I'm so sorry. He got bullied. Anyway, yeah. So basically, what I did is I 3-marked it. I just got it out of the way and played it, did it, finished it. So I don't really ever have to play this thing again. And I actually had two really good games to finish off the 3rd mark grind. Like, they were, I think, one was a 7k game, and I think the 3rd mark game was something like 8k. And really, really irritatingly, it was when I actually got my Xbox Series S, because if any of you don't know, I actually play on the Xbox Series S, which is the cheaper next-gen console. And there's actually an issue with the Series X and S, that if you have HDR enabled in the settings, or HDR10 I think it is, that if you're using the Xbox record system to record 30-second clips, or even like I do where I record for like the 15-minute intervals of the games, it just goes full black screen, so you can hear all of the battle sounds like this, but the screen is just like the brightness is turned down to 0 and more, you know, and that meant that I lost all those replays, which was, not gonna lie, very annoying. So if you have the Series S or the Series X and you do use the record system, be wary that the HDR10 feature mucks with your game clips. Just be wary of that. So, we're on Pilsen in this tank, and I've really decided that I need to get stuck in, because this heavy tank needs help. So what I'm doing is I've got stuck in, I'm using this gun as best as I can to try and shut these guys down. Unfortunately, we donk a shot on this Panzer 7, but the Panzer 7 distracted with me, gets shut down by the IS-7. We get another shot into the Centurion 7-1, and I'm kind of screaming out for a little bit of help here, because it's just me and the IS-7 pretty much. I'm trying to keep this Cent 7-1 away. I'm trying to make it so this IS-7 only has to deal with the 60 TP. The 60 TP drives back around the corner, so I've decided, you know what, I'm going to drive around. I might take a hit from this Cent 7-1, but if I can shut down this 60 TP, fantastic. Unfortunately, we low rolled twice in a row, which means we haven't killed this guy in 2 shots, which is unfortunate because we probably would have saved the IS-7 there. But yeah, it's just the unfortunate nature of things. Now it's me against this M48 120mm and the Cent 7-1 that are both, well, one's not healthy, one is. Unfortunately, we donked the shell there. I'm still kind of screaming for help. I want some help here from my heavy tank and the TD that's out in the corner. They've not got involved in there. I've taken a shot to try and get out, but unfortunately there's an E75, and the E75 shuts us down, which is unfortunate because we were having a really nice game there. We just needed a little bit more help there. But hey, it is what it is. And fortunately enough for me, the rest of the team managed to shut the game down. So we finished that game with 3 kills, 7.1k damage. Ace Tanker, Confederate, High Caliber. That was actually the game we got the 2nd mark as well. Yeah, 7.1k, 1578 base XP as well, which is not the highest for a tier 10, but it's the way it is when you have these tier 10 tanks that get given away for free in the season passes. because that's how you could get it if you didn't know, or if you're watching this video in the future and you're new to the game. You got this tank for free in the season pass, and generally what happens with the tanks from the season passes is that they're pretty easy to ace, and they're also pretty easy to 3-mark as well, because the rates to 3-mark them, the numbers that you need, tend to be like way lower. Like this at the time when I did it was 3.2k I think, or 3.1k, one of the two, to 3-mark it, which is extremely low for tier 10s. I mean, for a tier 10 medium generally tends to be about 4.5k, so that tells you just how low it is, or it was. So we're on the second game, and we're on Arctic region, and I've taken the northern route, and it's one that I do tend to take quite aggressively, because if we sit where this medium tank was, obviously the enemy team changes what your play is on this corner, right? If they push aggressively from where that guy is there, this 260, if he pushed aggressively and took the position at C34, I wouldn't be able to do what I'm doing right now, right? But they didn't, so I push aggressively, because then you get under their gun line and you can push them and attack them from here, and you're not just sitting back getting out spotted in a snipe war with tanks that are probably very good on a ridgeline. So that's why I've pushed this aggressively. Now we can try and work over these tanks that are set up here. So we're getting some nice shots into this IS-7. This IS-7's fired, so it's like, well, I'll just keep popping up on top of the ridgeline, get a shot nicely into his lower plate. And we have got a lot of friends here, which is nice. You know, 268 version 5, the T95E6 and the Kampfpanzer. Number one, there's a lot of distraction, which is nice, because that means I get enough time to keep popping up and getting some shots into this IS-7's lower plate. My friends don't seem to be too bothered with him, which is a strange one, seeing as he is on their side. Unfortunately, we ricochet off the upper plate of the IS-7 there. We get a shot into the lower plate that ricochets again, because of the way he was angling there. It made it awkward for our AP round to go through. He's not bothered about the Kampfpanzer behind him. Get a nice shot just through the upper plate there, because that is one thing. Obviously, we're shooting down slightly at the angle we've got and the angle he's put himself, which means we could actually go through the upper plate just next to where the lower plate joins it, basically. Now we got rid of him, I was like, okay, I'll push forward and I'll get forward to the next ridgeline so I can get shots down on the A260 in that. But there's actually a tank over there near their base, which makes that awkward, because he can start shooting us. And I'm trying to think about the next way I can break this line of attack so I don't get done myself. So I'm thinking of going down here and basically getting in this position to be able to shoot the tank that was in their base, because I can get cover here and I can get shots across. But unfortunately he's got unspotted, which makes it a little bit awkward. I'm concerned about anything that could be down there, and we're just taking it a bit steady, because, well, if we get spotted here it could be curtains quite quickly if we get shot from all angles. So I decided, you know what, we're going to slide off the hill and we're going to attack them from behind, but we're going to take the safe route and come round this ditch here. So we're safe from the guy that's at B8, 9, and anything that's sitting along the 8 line generally will not be able to get shots at us. And we want to get behind these guys, because obviously they're distracting our guys at B4. They're just halting the progress, which is awkward. This 260's actually realised it, which is good for him. He's realised what I was doing. He's turned around, which unfortunately I bounced off his lower plate, which I was kind of hoping would be the time that my team would push up and try and help me, which they are. And they've got the medium tank, this T95E6 or the Kampfpanzer that's actually pushing forward. This 260's doing all that he can to shut me down. We get another shot into him. I might reload before he will, because his reload isn't the best, and we get, if we fire at the same time, I'm always going to fire before he will. The 260 is a tank that I love though. It is a great little tier 10, but it's not got the best reload in the universe. It is a Soviet 122mm heavy. So now that he's gone, we're putting some shots into the SU-122-54 that was trying to shoot our, what is it, Progetto 65. That's attacking this poor little light tank. But now we're going to move forward. I'm trying to be a bit careful, because obviously we can still get shot from the right, which is not something we want. And we're still lit up by this G-Saw. We get a nice shot on the move into the G-Saw. The G-Saw shuts down our Progetto, and I'm taking a bit of cover here, because obviously I am quite low health. I don't want to get killed by this guy. Now he's run off. It's the time to go push onto this corner over here. So we're going to try and stick as close to this hill as possible, so that, well, because this hill has like little lips that you can basically stay hidden behind, and if you can do that, you'll stay safe and you can keep getting shots off. Obviously, we're seeing now where this 60 TP is. We're going to try and shoot his cupola. Unfortunately, it misses. We've got a lot of foliage in front of us, which can keep us covered. Obviously, the M48 120mm is a fat tank. It's just like the M48A2 and the M60, where they just have very little camo. So, every little helps, basically. Unfortunately, we missed the shot on the G-Saw. And we're going for HE now on this 50 TP. Because obviously, he's on 709 hit points. We just hit him for about 100 on top of his turret. If we can hit this guy with all 3 HE shells, we can probably bring him down to within a one-shot range. And if this G-Saw pokes up enough, we can probably one-shot him with the HE, which we might not do with the AP. So we're looking for a shot at the top of this 50 TP. Unfortunately, the gun misses there, which is something that lets the tank down a little bit, is the gun handling at times. It can be annoying. If you think about the T95E6, especially after the buffs, the T95E6 has way better gun handling. Same as the M60, which has sexy gun handling. And the M48A5 has, I think, the same pretty much, but just way better soft stats on everything. So this is where the gun can be let down a little bit. But we've only got heat rounds left, which means if we clip the top of this guy's turret, we should pen it in the cupola. Should. Note the should. And we're just looking for shots. We've just got to hit it. So we're waiting for that opportune moment to actually get the shot in. He keeps ducking down. And unfortunately, he's making it just as awkward as possible for us to hit him. And it's just a waiting game, pretty much, to see if he will poke. We have got a 268 version 5 in front of us, which can make it a pain in the ass. The G-Saw makes his move, get a shot into him, pull back so that the 50 TP can't try and shut us down, because he will be angling for it. But he gives us the side of his turret, so we shut him down. We're up to 6k damage. And we're going to see if we can get another shot into this M48 120mm. I didn't quite expect him to be looking at me. I get lucky that he didn't shoot us there. And we're just going to wait for the reload, poke round, and try and finish this guy off, because he is distracted. We do shut him down. Now there's another M48 120mm in front that we want to try and save this Valor from, or is it I think it's the unskinned Valor. We shut down the next M48 120mm. And we're going to try, we're just looking and assessing whether we can shut down this 268 version 5, because obviously the 268 version 5 will shut us down every time. He'll pen us no matter where he hits us, because it's got ridiculously high pen. I'm just looking at this, yeah, it is the unskinned Valor, and hoping that he'll go up and take the hit from this T95, this 268 version 5, sorry, because obviously he can take the hit, which means that if he takes the hit, takes the shot, we'll be able to go around on this guy and kill him. But unfortunately for me, the 268 actually lost a lot of health, and well, I would say unfortunately for me getting any more damage. The 268 version 5 got shut down. But there's one tank left. It's just this TD over here, this T110E4. The light tank's gone in on him, which means the likelihood of me getting another shot into him is quite likely, because there's only me and this light tank going for him. We get shot nicely into the back of the E4, waiting on the reload, hoping I'll be able to shut him down, because he's running away from me into the light tank. And we managed to shut him down for 7.5k damage, 370 blocked. And generally a nice game for the tank. So we finished that victory, top of the old leaderboards, and 8 kills. It surprised me at the time. Like, we ended up finishing with a Radley Walters. I was like, wait, I was on 8 kills. So 8 kills, 7.5k damage. Devastator, Radley Walters, Ace Tanker, High Caliber, Top Gun, and 1902 base XP. And that's just the way it is sometimes, like, especially now with the fact that we don't have the ribbons telling us how many kills we've got. Sometimes you just get surprised by how many kills you've got. You finish the game and you go, wait, I was on 6 kills? No. But anyway, that's the M48 120mm. Thank you very much for watching, everybody, and I'll see you next time.
A great success!